Okay, right. Good morning, Shaina. So I think you can see my screen and can see the board as well. So now today, plus I guess you can hear me as well, right? I know, Ani. Plus, today we do have to complete a small theory area, right? We do have to complete a very small theory area in the unit one. Once we complete this unit theory area regarding this business classification and then the business environment, right? Stakeholders like part we do have to discuss a couple of questions, right? We do have to discuss many past paper questions regarding the unit one, right? Unit one. Again, past paper questions we have discuss करना, 8 discuss करला, and then we can finish the session for the day. So unit one is not that of a big lesson, right? Unit one is not that of a big lesson. So since it's a very small one, right? Since this is a very small lesson compared to other units, right? Compared to unit 3, 4, right? And all. Since this is a very small lesson, after questions, but correct. We do have many number of questions, right? We do have many number of questions. But most of the questions from the past papers, right? Most of the questions from past papers regarding unit one are like the same repeated ones, right? Same repeated ones are there in the past papers as well. Okay, everything. So what we are going to do now, right? What we are going to do now is we'll discuss, right? We'll discuss the rest of the unit, right? We'll discuss the rest of the unit. Okay. Now, on the last day, we did, today we have to start with the different bases of the classification, right? The Mathagati, right? Now, you might have to remember that after the in there, the Mathagati in known businesses, right? Businesses can be classified, and businesses can be classified into 5 different areas. Business ke after areas pahakata bedanna. So you need to know what are those bases, right? Questions and right? They might ask questions based on the right. What are the bases? You need to understand what are the number of bases that you have. You have based on ownership. Ownership taking questions based on objectives, based on scale, based on the sector, based on the nature. So those are 5 of the bases that you have. Then Mevali Gunadana then right? Mevali questions like for 1 mark, 2 marks, right? You will get questions for 1 marks to 2 marks. Then you will be thinking like a day, 1 mark, 2 mark, right? Lapunakata Dehekata we are known in it, right? Lapunakata Dehekata Padan Grand known in it. Padan Grand known, right? You even have to study for 1 to 2 marks, right? Lapunak Degak in A levels, it's very important, right? When it comes to A levels, it's very important to score 1 to 2 marks. Okay. Now, for example, right? For example, let's say in your paper, right? In your paper, you score somewhere around 54 marks. Or Lakno Panas Hatara Kambe, right? Or Lakno Panas Hatara Kamna, see, right? Out of 100, you get 54. Then you will be like, Adi, 54 is a good mark, right? 54 can होता है पेपर के बाल के वोटा लगनी चाहिए, right? पेपर के बाल के वोटा बट लगनी चाहिए. 54 is good. Say, even though you think 54 is good, this still falls under the category of S. Even 54 is, like, even though 54 is good, still this mark fall under the category of S. What S එකක් විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. වැඩක් තියෙනවද like 54ක් අරන් what S එකයි තියෙන්නේ. වැඩක් තියෙනවද? නැහැ. So like if you get 55, you get one addition, like you get one more mark. You get one more mark, 55. Then only you fall under the C category. Like only if you complete and only if you get 55 over only, you get a C. 54ක් ගත්තත් ඔයාලා හම්බෙන්නේ S එකක් විතරයි. එතකොට even one mark is important. Like even one mark is important when you are learning, like sorry, when you are studying for your exam. Right from this question, right from this basis part, right from this basis part, you might probably get question for 1 to 2 marks. ලකුණයි දෙකයි එන්නේ. ලකුණයි දෙකයි. But ඒ ලකුණක් දෙකක් මිස් කරගත්තොත් it will highly affect your but it will highly affect your marks. ඔයාට යුනිවර්සිටි යන්න තියෙන chance එක right ඔයාට යුනිවර්සිටි යන්න තියෙන chance එක මෙන්න මේ වගේ ලකුණකින් දෙකකින් මිස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right ලකුණකින් දෙකකින් මිස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So what I'm telling you is even if it is 1 to 2 marks, give high priority, right? Even give it high priority. මේ වගේ simple දේවල් වලින් ලකුණු නැති කරගන්න එපා. Right? Try to score as much as possible. පොඩි ඒවා පාඩම් කරන්න. You might think, right? That laziness comes, right? But පොඩි කම්මැලි කමක් එනවා. මේක හෙන පොඩි පාඩ් එකක් මේක පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒ එක්සෑම් එකට ගියාම මතක් වුණාම ලියන්න, right? මතක් කරන විදිහට ලියමු. You might think, okay, I don't have to study this. I don't have to remember this. එහෙම නෙමෙයි. Even those small areas you have to learn. I'll tell you one example. 2026 paper. Aran Baran, 2026 paper Aran Baran. All the questions that they have come up with, right? Most of the questions that they have come up with are from certain areas, right? Are from certain areas which are not made. How they made theory areas for it, right? 2026 paper is made out of questions where the areas that they have covered are just like small area, right? Hiding the main points, right? Hiding the main points. What is management? What is operations management? Well, it will take one example, right? In HR management, right? In HR management, there is something called walk-in interviews, right? There is something called walk-in interviews. And walk-in interviews, it's a type of a interview method, right? Interview method, right? We learned that in unit 16. Now, it's just type of work, right? It's just type of interview. The main development, right? It's not a main part where we focus. But question is walk-in interviews are advantages, not that, right? What are the advantages? What are the benefits of walk-in interviews? අපි හිතනවා right මේ walk-in interviews ගැන example එකක් ලියන්නේ. ඒකට example එක ලියමු. Interview methods වල example එක ලියමු. We don't focus on the advantages on those. But example question එක මෙතන. Main areas, right? Main areas are important, right? You need to understand the main areas. Plus, we have to focus on some other areas as well. Like we have to focus on some other areas of the syllabus as well. So the main area, 40 areas. If you are focus කරන්නේ හිතන්නේ නැති areas, ඒ වල then questions එනවා. Highly practical questions will be coming, huh? So we have to get ready for that. Okay. Now, when it comes to the lesson, right? When it comes to the lesson, the basis of business, right? Basis of the, என்ன மேக்கிங் right? Making the basis of the based on the ownership, objective, scale, sector, nature. Based on the ownership, you have private sector businesses, then public sector. Private owned businesses, public owned businesses. Private owned means simply owned by individuals, like owned by you and me, individuals. Public sector means owned by the government, right? This is owned by the government. Objectives, there are two objectives: profit profit objective and then non-profit objective. Right? Profit objectives and non-profit objective. And when come to scale, small and medium scale, large scale. Right? Small and medium scale, large scale. Now these things, right, these things are taught in O levels as well. And then apart from that, we have two other new things, nature and the sector. There are three sectors in the economy, right? There are three sectors in the economy. Sector one is agriculture. Sector two, services. Sector three, industries. China matter, what is the main sector, right? What is the main sector that contributes to our GDP? අපේ GDP එකට වැඩියෙන්ම input එකකින් මොන sector එකේද? Which sector contributes, right? Out of these three sectors, which sector contributes to our GDP highly, right? Which one highly contributes to our GDP? It's a practical question, right? මොන sector එකද කවුද වැඩියෙන්ම contribute කරන්නේ? Who contributes highly? Can I have the answer? Out of agriculture, services, and industrial sector, which one contributes to the GDP? Yes, correct. Service sector. ඔන්න ඔය වගේ questions අහయ్యා. ඔන්න ඔය වගේ questions අහන්න පුළුවන්. Why do we see a trend in the service sector? Service sector development what is the reason? What are the reasons that we have to say that the service sector is highly developing? The service sector is contributing to the GDP highly. Why? What are the reasons? Those kinds of questions can be asked. Huh? So even in the theory cube, I have given a list of reasons. Right? I have given a list of reasons why service sector is contributing to the GDP. එකක් තමයි due to the increased income, right? Due to the increased income or the increased purchasing power of people, we buy more services, right? Now, if I have money, I would go on a trip. Right? If I have enough money, I would go on a trip. Services. Tourism is a service. If I have money, I would dine out. Dining out is a service. If I want to buy clothes, I would go buy clothes. Buying clothes, that shop is not limit is also a service oriented. Retail, those are service. So those are some reasons why we say service sector is contributing to the GDP. And the method question here, and the food. Never into taste, but I don't take that. And the other sectors are, the other things are the primary production, secondary production, and tertiary production. Secondary and tertiary. Those are the three areas. Like those are the three areas where the business can be classified according to the nature. According to the nature of the production. According to the production, primary can extracting natural resource. Right? Extracting natural resource, right? Extracting natural resource. Sorry, good. See here. Eh? Extracting natural resource and extracting natural resource is a primary sector. So natural resources when it comes to primary sector, right? When it comes to the primary sector, you have to remember the keyword extracting natural resources. Okay. So examples can be put on agriculture, forestry, mining. uh, Those are some examples for primary sector. Secondary sector secondary sector is where you add value or process it, right? When the natural resources are processed, so you add value. Okay. You are adding value in the secondary sector. Secondary sector के after value addition करना not the main natural resources work. So for example, let's say here we are doing paddy cultivation. When we do paddy cultivation, that is primary production. Using this paddy, we create rice, right? We create rice, and from this rice, we are creating some sort of a product, right? We are creating some sort of a product. That's what take a second level. If this product is sold along with a service, if we add the service, that becomes tertiary. Yeah. Always remember the keyword for tertiary is service. Keyword for tertiary is a service. Always a service is right. Always a service is here when it comes to tertiary. Right? Tertiary or service that include when a market. For example, if you are selling mix, like if you are selling food in a restaurant, right? If you are selling food in a restaurant, right? Restaurant A can sell. This restaurant is a service, so it falls under tertiary sector, right? It falls under tertiary sector. And the idea is right? This is what we have to remind when it comes to the business classification. When it comes to business classification, these are things that you have to remember, right? Or you must have right? Reasons for the increase in the contribution of service sector. Why services are contributing to the GDP? One is due to the increased purchasing power. I explained that. Change in lifestyle, right? Now our lifestyles has been changed, right? Back in those days, our folks, right? Our grandparents, maybe they were into agriculture, right? Grandparents, parents, they were into agriculture. But now today, in today's generation, we are not much into agriculture. We are into different services. We would like to do a professional job. China doesn't want to become a farmer, right? China farm can depend on it. Mata farm can depend on it. Right? We prefer some professional jobs. We prefer the respect that we get by doing professional jobs. Farmer can respect right? There is no respect. Like those are the people who has to be respected. Like those are the people who has to be respected because they contribute their entire thing to do farming. But at the current situation, they are not being respected properly. Okay, so because of those reasons, because of the social reasons, we prefer for a professional job. Now we guys are educated, right? You are getting educated. You want to go to university, like you want to do professional you want to get your professional education. You try to become a professional. You try to get a higher income by doing a proper job. You like to work under a corporate. And you prefer a change, right? There's a change in the lifestyle. Right? They didn't learn or anything. They didn't have the need of learning or anything. They just have their paddy fields, they did the agriculture and they did. But in today's world, the world has changed completely, right? Everything has changed completely. May change in visa, right? Due to this change, and due to this change, there is more priority given by the youngsters to the service sector rather than agriculture. Yeah. So that's all about the reasons why service sector is contributing more. And then there's another small area regarding the business process, right? Regarding the business process, there's another area. Like a product question, this is an area where I don't get any questions, right? The business process part, we have not got that much of questions, but never either කියලා right never either කියලා කියන්න බෑ එන්න chance එකක් තියෙනවා right they might give you a type of a business and they might ask you to write the business process right එහෙම question එකක් එන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා now for example let's say when it comes to businesses right when it comes to any business there is a close when it comes to any business there is a close you call it the input the conversion process and then the output. Input, conversion process, and then the output. There are three levels. Now this is regarding a salon. Right hand in the theory tube, I have given you the conversion process of a restaurant and the conversion process of a garment. Right, restaurant garment here I have given the conversion process of a salon. If they ask a question to draw the business process, right? Draw the business process of a particular business, right? What business category what you have to do simply, you have to draw this and classify. So tell me, what are the 7 factors of production? Tell me what are the 7 factors of production? I'll tell you 4. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Apart from this, China, there are 3 others. Right? There are 3 other inputs. Can you tell me what are the 3 other inputs of a business? Nothing. Apart from land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, there are 3 other factors. Superior. Time, knowledge, and information. Time, knowledge, and information. And what you have to do is you have to simply list down these things, right? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, time, knowledge, information. List karega. Once you list this, you have to give examples. These are the input factors. Examples. You can write. Now this is a salon, right? This is a salon. You have to maybe what you call. We'll take land of the business, right? Land of the business is one example. And then another one is you can have minerals. You can have water. Like those are some examples of the land factors. Then labor will the barber. Barber barber. This is a salon, right? This is a salon. In a salon, you have a hairdresser, barber, right? You don't have barber. You have a hairdresser. Hairdresser in cashier ඔන්න ඔය දෙකක් වගේ දාගන්න. තව ඉන්නවා right නිය පොත සුද්ධ කරන කට්ටිය අරකයි මේකයි කියලා. There are many people, right? So for the moment you can write hairdresser, cashier. Those are some examples. For capital you can take machines, tools. Those are capital. Entrepreneurship is creativity. දැන් මේ දෙගම්බුල දෙනවා drift barber කියලා ගන්න. You have this drift barber. They have this different haircuts, right? එක එක things තියෙනවා, right? So that is their creativity, right? The hairdresser's creativity. Barber na කියවෙන්නේ මට. Right? So it's not barber, it's hairdresser. So hairdresser they do have some sort of creativity. That creativity falls under entrepreneurship. Time, we can take appointment times. Now these days you have to take appointments to cut hair. Early morning if I thought of okay, I want to have a haircut. Salon එකට දිව්වා barber අයියා ඉන්නවා barber අයියාට කියලා appoint එක පාරේ. But now these days you need have to have appointment. Getting an appointment from that person is very difficult. He is busy than a doctor. Appointment time. Time taken for a haircut. Appointment time, time taken for haircut. Those are can write as examples for time. Knowledge is right. Knowledge is experience. Experience of hairdresser. Experience of the hairdresser is an example for knowledge. Information is update on new trends. Update on the new trends. Alutal trends ගැන update එකක් තියෙනවා. Those are some examples for information. Land the natural fact, right? You have to write the natural factors. The land of the business, machines, water. Don't write buildings for land. The land එකට building කියන්නේ. Building is not natural, right? ඔයාලා ගහින්න කඩන්නේ building නෑනේ. Buildings comes for the capital, right? Building comes for the capital. Building comes for the capital part. It's not falling under the what you call it doesn't fall under the what you call land. Okay? It falls under the capital. And ඔය ටික තමයි තියෙන්නේ මොනවද? Input factor. These are the input factors. Then there is the conversion process. What do we do in a salon? Like salon then nothing. We have appointments. You cut hair. Cut hair. There can be some facial. Nothing. Hair dressing, facial, appointment දානවා, hair dress කරනවා, facials කරනවා. Right? If you know something else, right? If you know something else, what the salon will do, and they put here. And then you put සුද්ධ කරනකොට PD කියලා මොකක්ද එකක් කියනවා. I can't remember the exact word. So we can write that tell. Right? So those are done in the salon thing. And then what is the output? Output is a good looking haircut. the final output would be a good-looking haircut or a good-looking person, right? A good-looking person, right? And as the business process. Can you copy down this? Can you copy down this into space I have given? I'm gonna space again copy down करेगा. Once you're done copying down, or if you can't see anything, please let me know. But from my side, for me, on screen it looks clear, right? The letters looks clear for me. From my side, I don't know how you see from your end. So if any of these things are, if any of these things are not clear, please let me know, right? Ah, cute sorry, but I forgot. I forgot. By the way, now coming in the evening, right? I have the tubes. Right? I have printed the tubes for you as well. Tube red color evening, right? This is your tube. When you come in the evening, I will give you the tube plus the model paper. I will give you the tube and the model paper. Now, what you have to do? You have to do the model paper. You have to bring it. Yeah, I'm the next class. When you come to the next class, physical training. So when you come to the next class physically, paper karla game na. I have to take the paper and I will be commenting on your paper. Okay, what are the things? And thus I have your the previous paper as well, right? Mari paper करती ना, मैं का other देती ना, right? I give that paper as well today. Okay. By the way, paper क्या पता कौन है? Did you do the second paper? I gave one, right? You told, yes, good, okay, bring it, na. When you're coming in the evening, bring it. Right. Ah, aku tama, like Ahmed tama, kalle. Tahan dunne mana, say. Okay. So then, I will once again share the thing here. I'll share the. Okay. Okay. But then the next one is regarding the business stakeholders, right? The business stakeholders. So now, when it comes to business stakeholders, you can remember, right? Kathy, business stakeholders are the parties who are interested. The parties who are interested about the business activities, right? Right. The parties who are interested about the business activities and that might have an impact. Right? That might have an impact due to the business activities. The parties who are interested about the business activities and that are impacted due to the activities of the business are called as the business stakeholders. Again, the people, right? The people, they are interested about the business activities. Plus, these people, right? But these people are also impacted, right? They are also impacted due to the activities of the business. You call them as the business stakeholders. Any person or a group or an organization that is interested or affected, right? That is interested or affected by the actions of the business, by the actions and objectives of the business are called as business stakeholders, right? Business stakeholders. Right? When you are writing the definition, right? If they ask a question, okay, who are stakeholders? And when you write definition, you have to include those words. Either they are interested or they are impacted from the activities of the business. This is what we call as stakeholders. Now, these stakeholders you can take, like we have many examples of stakeholders, the owner, manager, employee, customer, competitor, government, community. And again, examples, right, when it comes to stakeholders, when it comes to stakeholders, these are many examples that we can take. So, this set of stakeholders can be classified, this set of stakeholders can be classified as internal and external stakeholders, right? Internal and external stakeholders. When it comes to internal stakeholders, we take the parties who are inside the business. The parties who are inside the business. That is the owner, manager, and employees. There are three parties in an organization. There is the owner, manager, and employees. Those people are considered as the internal stakeholders. But apart from that, the customers, competitors, government, community, those people are considered as the suppliers, right? Those people are considered as the external stakeholders. The people who are outside the organization and they are interested and impacted due to the business activities. Okay. So that is the thing. But these stakeholders, they have different reasons, right? They have different reasons why they are interested about the business. Because business get interested in, right? To become interested about the business, they have different reasons, right? They have different reasons. Owners, like the owners are interested about the return on their investment. What is the return on my investment? Business investment return. I want to know. I want to know as the owner, is my business growing? Right? Is the business growing? I want to know that whether my business is growing or not. Managers, they focus on the decisions. Right? They focus on the decisions. They make decisions. They want to know whether the decisions are right or wrong. What decisions gonna? If you are the manager, if you are making decisions, you need to know whether it is correct or not. So you are interested about that. You are interested about your career development. Right? You have as a manager, you have a career in my organization. You need to know, okay, whether this is right or not. Whether am I getting any promotion or not. Whether my salary is increasing or not. Whether I get bonus or not. The manager is interested about that as well. Employees are interested about the job security, to earn high salary, right? Customers are focusing on high quality products, right? You, when you go to a shop or somewhere, you focus on high quality products. Product cheap, right? The quality products, the reliable services, supplies. The suppliers are interested whether they are getting paid on time. They are the payments, right? They are focusing on that. Schedule orders. The government is expecting to pay taxes on time. The legal compliance, right? Whether the business is conducted according to the rules, whether the business is paying taxes on time. This is what the government is focusing on. So, हमने reasons because even in the exam, right? Even in the exam, in the first question itself, right? In the first question, paper 2, first question, paper 2, main question 1. In paper 2, main question 1, they will have a sub question. A hari B hari kira sub question right? They will give you a sub question, right? Paper question number 1 again, they will have a Roman number 2 again, Roman number 3 again, sub question A B right? Roman number sub question identify who are the stakeholders of this business. They will give you a case. Yeah, they case study. Then you have to identify who are the stakeholders of this business and why those stakeholders are interested about this business. Who are the stakeholders of the business and why these people are interested about the business. What a so at that point, they have to read the case. Case again, read the case. From the case only, you have to answer. You can't just imagine answers, right? You can't just imagine answers. Like if they have not given anything, if they have not given and if they are randomly asking, okay, who are the stakeholders and mention the reason of their interest. I took out what but if a question comes like based on the case, right? Kilao, I thought a case is clear about the Malian. Yeah, become me Kitrena Hamigama, Liana, that. Okay. And then we go to the internal and external environment, the advantages, right? At the theory part sticker, when I make a certificate theory part sticker or nothing, yeah, right. The theory area are completely covered from this lesson. Then what I have to do is we have to discuss, right? Then we have to do it, but we have to discuss questions. Okay. Now, business environment, right? Business environment is basically the internal, external, right? Sorry, first we have started parties and forces. Parties and forces, like business environment means the parties and forces in the internal and external environment of the business that impacts positively or negatively the parties and forces who are in the internal or the external environment of the business, which impacts positively or negatively towards the business, is what you call as what the business environment. The parties and forces who are inside and outside the business, which positively or negatively impacts businesses is what we call as business environment. Okay. Now, from this business environment and this business environment, based on the definition, we can identify this can be divided into two: internal, external. Internal, external. Internal means the parties who are inside the business. The parties who are inside the business. What do we have inside the business? Owner, manager, employees. Apart from that, who are the internal environment? Owner, manager, employees. Apart from owner, manager, employees, who else do we have, ma? What are the other things that we have? We have some other. We have three other things, three other areas. Owner, manager, employees. Apart from that, after the business activity, nothing. Internal environmental things. Organization structure, yes, good structure. Down. Then another two. Structure, culture, okay, yeah, culture, good. And then the last one is structure, culture, one more. And resources. Ah. Now, questions might come, right? Owner manager employees, right? Owner manager employees are always, right? These answers are always written for owner manager and employees. They might ask question, right? They might ask question regarding these. Okay. How does the organization structure impact the business? How does organization culture impact the business? How does organization resource impact the business? In the culture impact structure impact questions end up Amazon owner manager right? Owner manager then even this one is now too old, right? These things are also already questioned. But question like how does the culture impact? How does the structure impact? How does resources impact the business environment? They might ask. Okay. Now, structure again, the organization structure is the right. Organization structure is the what do you call? How what do you call this? Responsibility, how authority. Organized structure means how authority, responsibility, the hierarchy of an organization flows, right? How authority, responsibility, hierarchy of an organization flows. This is the structure, right? Or structure okay, structure. How does this, right? How does this impact business? When the next business impact the way how authority flows, how responsibility is shared, how the hierarchy is organized, how does this impact businesses? Or how does this impact businesses? When you have a proper structured organization, that means the boss is there, under the boss there are two subordinates, under these subordinates there are people. This is properly organized. If this is properly organized, you are able to manage business activities easily. You can give instructions, you can collect information easily. Instructions then information done not lacing instructions done not lacing information done not. This becomes a positive thing for the business. If you have given authority, right? If you have given authority as the manager, if you have given authority to the subordinates, properly, it will make business process easier. It makes the business process comfortable. If you are properly organized, if you are properly given authority, it will make things easy. So those are how those structures are going to impact business. Right? What are right? Authority responsibility, right? Or can see here. Okay. Improves uh, improves the proper functioning of a business, right? If the authority responsibility is shared properly, if it is allocated properly, it improves the functionality of the business properly, right? Business can function generally hurried, right? Decision making becomes quicker. Uh, Decision making become quick. Those are some, but those are some positive impacts. If you have a proper structure in the business, organization again, are structure of thing, but okay. It improves the functioning. It makes the business decision making quicker, right? When you have a strong structure. Now, when it comes to the culture of the organization, right? When it comes to the culture of the organization, uh, when it comes to the culture of the organization, what happens? Culture is something. Culture is the values, beliefs, and norms that we practice in our organization. It is the values, beliefs, norms, right? These are the values, beliefs, norms that we practice in an organization, which is passed to our next generation, right? The values, beliefs, norms, which is passed to our next generation, right? Values, beliefs, norms, which is passed to our next generation, is what you call as an organizational culture, right? Organizational culture again, no. आपने विश्वास करने होती है what we practice in an organization that is passed to our next generation as well. Then ළමයක ගත්තත් organization එකට එයාටත් කියලා දුන්නා. Okay, this is how you have to dress. This is how you have to do things. This is how you have to talk to other people. This is how you address the subordinate. This is how you address your manager. We teach him. Those are the values, beliefs, and norms. Right. And then the resources, the factors of production, labor, entrepreneurship, capital, right, land, all are factors, resources, those are also internal factors. Okay. So, quality, if you have quality resources, it improves the business. So, those are the things for internal. External, right? External is again divided into two: micro, macro. Right? External environment is divided into two: micro, macro. That's another name for micro. Micro that is the task environment. Right? We call it as the task environment. Micro environment or else task environment. And then there is the macro environment. In the micro environment, you have what? Suppliers, competitors, customers, right? Those are the micro environment. In the macro environment, you have the pestle factors: political, legal, economic, socio-cultural, technological, global, demographic. There are many macro environmental forces, right? There are many macro environmental forces. External factors kila तीन right? Legal environment, sorry, legal, political, legal, economic, social, technological, global, demographic. Those are what? Macro environment. Changes in these macro environment will impact businesses. Can you control them? Never control කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Bad. Internal environment can be controlled. Can be controlled. But external environment, the macro environment control කරන්න බෑ. Macro environment cannot be controlled. So what can businesses do? If the macro environment is changing, what can business do? They can adapt, right? When the macro environment is changing, they have to adapt. Right? They have to adapt according to this. Macro environment change if politics are changing, if the economic environment is changing, what is happening? They have to adapt according to it, and we have to adapt according to it. But we can change microenvironment for a certain level. After macro environment change කරන්න බෑ, right? අපිට macro environment change කරන්න බෑ. Macro environment change කරන්න බෑ, අපිට adapt වෙන්න වෙනවා. Any change වෙන, right? Something changes here, we also have to change. If something changes here, we also have to change. But when it comes to the micro environment, we do have a certain level of a change, right? After එක්තරා විදිහට, right? එක්තරා level එකකට change කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? We can change up to a certain level. Full control, right? We don't have a full control, right? We don't have a full control. We can change it to a certain level, right? After එක්තරා level එකකට change කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? That is you call it as, and that is you call it as micro environment. Suppliers का change करना පුළුවන්. Competitors का mock करना පුළුවන්, right? So that is to a certain level only. Right. So basically then, by studying the internal environment and external environment, you are able to understand the SWOT, right? You are able to understand the SWOT. Strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are inside the business. Opportunities and threats are outside the business. From your strengths, you have to achieve your, you have to grab your, you have to attract your what? From your strengths, right? From your strengths, you have to attract your, right? From your strengths, you have to attract your what we call opportunity, right? My strengths are but opportunities to attract करगන්න. From the strengths, you have to face your threats, right? From your strength, right? From your strengths, you have to face your threats. From your strengths, you have to attract opportunities. When you see weaknesses in your organization, you have to minimize those weaknesses, right? When you see weaknesses, you have to minimize those weaknesses. When you have weaknesses, it could be a threat in the future as well, right? When you have weaknesses, it could be a threat in the future as well. So, based on your internal and external environment, you have to try to face this properly, right? Mathematical, හරියට face කරගන්න බලන්න ඕන, right? You have to try to face them properly.
Now, since I have finished discussing the theories, right? Since I have finished discussing the theories, next what you have to do here in this part under this quiz, I have given you five questions, right? I have given you five questions under this. Method in questions try करें, right? Try these five questions here. Then after this, on the last day, I gave you set of questions, right, to do. ඒකට අමතරව තියෙන questions ටික මෙන්න මෙතන try කරලා බලන්න right මෙතන තියෙන ඊතුරු questions ටික අපි මෙතන අද ඉවරයක් කරමු. The last day I gave you yeah, the last day I gave you set of questions to do. We did question number 26 on the last day. We did question number 26. And then we did question number 23, 22. We did question number 22. We did question number 20, 18, 17, 16. No, I take that Karani, right? So apart from those couple of questions, right? Apart from those couple of questions, what we are going to do today is, right? Apart from those questions, we have to do the rest, right? We have to do the question one, right? This set of questions has to be done here, right? When the main questions take run, right? These five questions has to be done, and then from this past paper questions, right? From this past paper questions, rest of the MCQs and fill in the blanks and the writing questions has to be completed. So for this, I guess you have the PDF, right? One PDF right? I have sent you the PDF. If you don't have the PDF, wait, I'll resend it. Uh, so for the moment, bear with the PDF. My evening water now. So what you have to do, you have to try these questions, right? You have to try these set of questions, right? Apart from this, right? Apart from these questions, right? Apart from 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, apart from these questions, do all the other questions now, right? Do all the other questions. Then what the තනියම try කරන්න. Okay. මේ questions ටික තනියම try කරන්න මම ඔයාලට පැයක් දෙන්න. Right? I'll give you a time of 45 minutes to 1 hour. Right? I'll give you 45 minutes to 1 hour. I'll give you time up to 11:30. So here what you have to do is you have to try questions by yourself. Valadama make questions then clear no. Mama ita vaste uttara denna, right? I'll give you the answers later, but before that, I want to see how you write answers. You have to write the answer and you have to send me the answers that you have written, right? All answer karela, all mata answers take one note. So how do you send? Maybe you can send it through WhatsApp or you can send, drop the messages here, right? මෙතන හරි WhatsApp එකේ හරි දාන්න. එතකොට මම මේ answers බලනවා. ඒ බලලා ඔයාලා ලියන්න කොයි විදිහටද කියලා බලන්න ඕන, right? Without checking how you write the answers, I won't be able to give you a feedback, right? So, shall we try this now? Karamudal. First, you try, and then I'll come up with the answers later. Okay. So now it's 10:30. I'll give you time up to 11:30, right? 11:30 එක මම time එක දෙන්න. So after 11:30, we can continue as well. So I'll be there in the meeting. But you can stay here as well. So after 11:30, we'll be starting the discussion. So what you want to do, you have to uh, try the questions and send me the answers. If we have right, if we have anything to clarify, right? If we have anything to clarify regarding the questions, Mama Inna Metana, right? So you can ask me, yeah. If you have anything to clarify, you can ask me. The what is they asking, right? If you have any questions, you can ask. But apart from that, yes, all the questions except the ones we have done. Right? All the questions except the ones we have done. So you might have somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are somewhere around 35 questions, right? You have somewhere around 35 questions to do. MCQs, pahala right? Around 15 MCQs, and all the others are writing questions. Short answers with explanation questions with So I want you to try that. So now we'll be discussing these questions, and we'll be discussing these questions after the paper session. Now, when I check your answers, right? One by one, balanna. Okay. Deep sea fishing, which utilizes boat equipments with modern fishing equipment. Here, balanna. Okay. I guess this is not what you have answered. Is it? Oh, okay, okay. I can't understand the numberings here in your answer sheet. So what I do is I'll discuss here with you, right? I'll discuss here with you. Balanna eventually match and answers, questions and answers match karla balanna me home the validity. Now, uh, so we have to start with this question. So deep sea fishing, which utilizes boat equipments with modern fishing equipments, here the answer for this, yeah, what we are doing here is we are doing deep sea fishing, thereby the answer for this comes as primary production. Even though we are using modern equipments, and even though they are given that we are using modern equipments and all, the correct answer for this comes as primary production, because why? We are extracting natural resources from the environment itself, right? Since we are extracting natural resources from the environment itself, we have to take it as primary production. Okay. Number two, so here they have given understand the business environment, right? Understand the business environment is important for planning. Fill each of the blanks using appropriate terms of the sort, right? strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats kin harita match kala fill karango na. Opening North and East Sri Lanka for business activities. We are opening North and East Sri Lanka for business activities. So this means, right, for a business, I am doing a business, right? I am doing a business, one business that for us, the north and east is closed, right? We'll assume the north and east is not accessible for us. If in case now we are able to go for north and east areas, right? Up north and east areas will it's an external factor due to government decisions or something, due to political reasons or something, but right now they are opening the north and east area of Sri Lanka for business activities. Then someone from the southern part of the country can go to the north and east. Southern part, right? Down south in the connect them north and east will trade car. So then this becomes, right? So then this becomes an opportunity, right? This becomes an opportunity for us, right? Then this becomes an opportunity for us. Planning by many firms up to open their new business in the area where your business is existing. Where my business is existing, some new people are coming, right? New businesses are going to start business, right? New competition is coming. So new competition means it's an external factor. So it becomes a threat for my business, right? New businesses incoming means it's a threat for my business. External lack of employees with appropriate skills in order to expand my business into new market is a weakness. Not having enough employees to expand my business becomes a weakness. There not a weakness that can I. And having a well-established brand name is a strength. So those two are internal factors, so they become weakness and strengths. The previous ones are opportunities and threats because those are external factors. Now here, the question, although agriculture was the main economic activity in the ancient Sri Lanka, today there is a tendency of moving away from agriculture to some other sectors. Give four reasons, right? Already I have given the four reasons here, right? Reasons so you can go with these four reasons. Right? You can go with these four reasons for this particular question. Question reasons. Okay. So that's why I'm not going to give an answer for this. We'll move to the next one. Briefly explain the internal environmental factors that help attracting and retaining customers within the fast food business. Make an answer of okay. Yeah, there's an answer. Fourth one. Provide capital and make decisions to improve food quality, prices, and facilities, helping attract customers. Friendly, skilled, and efficient employees provide good customer service, encouraging customers to come back. A customer-focused culture provides goods and services, cleanliness, quality, and customer satisfaction, helping to retain customers. Yeah, those kinds of things are okay. Right? Those kinds of things are okay to attract customers and retain them within our business. We have mentioned the internal environmental factors. That is good. Owner employees culture, we have mentioned it. That is good. For each option, you have described. Right? Each option you have described. Okay, how the customers will be attracted. That is also fine. And my part good. So you get 2 marks for that. Next, question number 5. Mention 2 reasons for the gradual increase of contribution from tourism industry to GDP in Sri Lanka. Why did why? 2 reasons for the gradual increase of contribution from tourism to GDP. Okay. How tourism has contributed to the GDP of the country, right? How tourism has contributed to the GDP of the country. So you have mentioned there developing and expanding of tourism facilities in the country. Okay, yes, fine. Increase in the number of tourists. Uh, yeah, okay, that is also fine, right? Method I mentioned two reasons. So since it is mentioned two reasons, you have mentioned it. This is fair enough. This answer is completely fair enough. What is it? We can write due to the increased number of tourists. Due to the increased number of tourists, the GDP of the country has been increasing. Okay, that is fine. Development in the tourism sector, development in tourism and promotion in tourism is also another reason why tourism has been developing. And answers yeah, that is also fine. Good answers. Then we'll go to the past papers. Right? Past papers right? Section right? All these questions we are discussing in this paper is past from past papers 2011 to 25. The following table shows the basis of business classification and types of businesses. You have to match it. Match don't try to match everything. Match 2 to 3, maximum 3, 2 to 3 match. You have to match this size. Fifth one. Size means B. 5B. 5B को है 3, 5B देना 4A, 2A, 3A. Aims means aim of the business means profit or non-profit. 4D, right? 4D. 4D को है 3, 4D को है 3. 4D is there in these two, 4 and 2. And then ownership, right? Ownership you can take private and public. 3E. 3E is there. 3 is also there in both these. Then if that is the case, then we can go for another one. Production sector, right? Production sector means you have agriculture and industries. That is 2A. 2A. 2A is here, so answer is number 4. For the number 4. Excellent. We have given 4. Excellent. Number 2. X column of the following table shows the classification of environment and the Y column shows the forces of the environment. You have to match this as well. So for internal, you can take employees, structure, internal. 1 and 3. A is 1 and 3. A is 1 and 3. You have 5, 4. Task environment means customer and potential business. Customer and potential business. 2, 6. 2, 6. The answer is fifth one. Answer is fifth one. A is 1 and 3. B is 2 and 6. C is 5, 4 and 5. According to the usage, goods are classified as consumer goods, industrial goods. Further, consumer goods are classified as essential goods, luxury goods, convenient goods, and shopping goods. Essential goods, luxury goods, essential goods, luxury goods, convenient goods, and shopping goods. Industrial goods are classified as capital goods, spare parts, and China mistakenly on the last day when I was doing the class, I have told you to take as support services. Support services capital goods, spare parts, and raw materials. Support services is also considered as support services is not considered as industrial goods because it's a service. So මෙතනට industrial goods කියලා ගන්නකොට raw materials කියලා ගන්න. Don't take it as support services. Services are not classified under goods නේ. ඒක ගන්න එපා. Change කරගන්න. Change it as raw materials. Capital goods, spare parts, capital goods, spare parts and raw materials. Don't take support services. Some business environmental forces are given below. Select the group which includes only task environmental forces. Task environment adala. Okay. So you have the task environment, manager, employees. Sorry, not not manager. Task environment. So you can take task environment as competitor, customer, potential business, suppliers. BDFG. BDFG is there. Answer number 2. Your answer is wrong, right? Answer number 5 right? You have given answer number 5. Answer number 5 is wrong, right? It's not B, C. C won't come. Right? C won't come. C is employees. Those are internal. Answer is number 2. Okay, answer is number 2. Competitor, customer, potential business, and suppliers. By studying the internal environment, you can identify strengths and weaknesses. By studying the external environment, you can identify threats and opportunities. Good. Foundation of business is. What is the foundation of business? Foundation of business is you have told money. Money. Foundation of business is customers. Right? Customers are the foundation of businesses, not money. It's customer or the customer's needs and wants. Customer or customers' needs and wants are the foundation. වැරදි වගේ අදාගන්න. Different stakeholders are interested in businesses due to following reasons. Profit, growth, those are given. From the above, only the managers are keen. Now, only the managers are keen about. Managers are keen about what? Managers wants what? Managers want to know the success of their decision. D. Every answer has D. Then manager wants to know the development in his position, right? Manager wants to know the development in his position. DH. DH. Everywhere you can see DH. Then the manager wants to know the promotions. No, profit owner. Market share owner. Okay. Growth of the business is also focused by our the owner. Then DH, right? You have DH. Permanency of the job base for the employees, right? For permanency of the employees is for them. This one. So we can remove here. Make Aikarla. We can cut this. We can take growth. Right? The manager is making decisions, so he is checking whether the business is growing or not. Right? He is interested to know whether the business is growing or not. Okay. BD FH. What is China's answer? Third one. ADEH. A D E H. No. DH is correct, right? DH is correct. DH में हमें के मतीना, में के तीना, में के तीना, metana तीना, metana तीना, metana तीना. But here the answer is A and B. A, B profit is more focused by the owners. A, C profit and market share. AE, AE profit and salary. B, D, B, D, F, H. Yeah, we can take this one. We can take this as an answer, right? We can take this as an answer. The answer is we can take the growth of the business is focused. The managers are focusing on their job position and success of their decisions, development in their position. Okay. So BDFH, right? BDFH is something that they focus on. BDFH is something that they focus on. Any form of meeting or interaction between buyers and sellers are known as a market. Any form of interaction between buyers and sellers are known as a market. Number 9, the value of country's overall output of a product and service in a given year is known as gross domestic product. That is also correct. GDP. Number 10, following are some of the business activities that related to different economic sectors only to the service sector. They have given 5. Communication and transport, that is correct. Out of the different stakeholders, businesses are interested in customers, right? Businesses are interested in customers to ensure their existence, yes. And showing interest in government to obtain infrastructure. Good, very good. Core value system of a business is an internal environment factor. Technology is a external environmental factor. Again, right? If you keep the right so far, your fill in the blanks skills are good. Your fill in the blank skills are good. Make a minimum maintain karo superior. Okay, if you maintain this in the same manner, and if you keep upgrading your fill in the blanks and MCQ skills, order paper one on the match right? You can go for a good mark from the paper one itself. Paper one එක විතරක් කරලා ඔයාලට S එකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන්. මෙහෙම හරියට ඔයා වැඩ කරගෙන ගියොත්, right? So far you are good. Factors that should be primarily considered by consumer in purchasing goods and services to fulfill their needs and wants are known as expenditure and satisfaction. Excellent, right? The expenditure and the satisfaction has to be considered, right? We are focusing on the how much are we, right? How much are we, what you call, spend, and how much are we going to earn? Sorry, how much are you going to satisfy? So that is something that you are going to concern. What in a business is a, right? A business is a, your answer is 14.4. Economic activity which fulfills needs and wants, right? It is economic activity which fulfills needs and wants. Okay, next we move on to the as per the classification of the gross domestic product of Sri Lanka, economic activity which belongs to industrial sector is. What is your answer? Answer number 15 you have given. Like one the fourth, I guess one. So yes, recycling is considered as industrial sector, right? Recycling is considered as industrial sector. Good. Netika kara 19 balam. Okay, no, you have not done there. Okay, fine. Select the option which just correctly contains correct elements of social, cultural environment. Social, cultural environment. Here it is on answer number 4. No, not 4. Beliefs, value, customs, and tradition. Beliefs, values, customs, and tradition. Answer number 5. It is where it explains the social and cultural environment. Social cultural environment explain enna. And there's another one here. 21 we have not done. Owners, values, beliefs built on organizational culture, and its misfit becomes what? A weakness, right? Its misfit becomes a weakness to the organization. Owners, values, and beliefs build the organization culture, and if you are misfitting or matching nothing, it becomes a weakness to the organization, right? It becomes a weakness to the organization. We'll see. So China has given an answer for what you call question number 24. Buying and selling of goods and services between parties is called trade. But I would like to do a small change for this. Yeah, okay, China, you're okay with this answer. But make it that add karan, right? There are 1 to 2 keywords that has to be added. Right? Make it keywords they got add in no. So I'll give an answer. Make that. So this is how you write here. Exchanging the ownership of goods and services for a exchanging, or we can call transferring the ownership of goods and services, right? Exchanging or transferring the ownership of goods and services for a consideration is known as trade, right? Trade की लगे याने exchanging or transferring, right? Exchanging or transferring the ownership of a good and service for a particular consideration is called as trade. And if I am trading, right? If I am trading this marker pen with you, that means I take the money and I give you the ownership of this marker pen. Right? Mummy marker pen ownership के तरह मंगवा दे. I don't cut देगा. It is you call right. It is you call exchanging or transferring the ownership of goods and services between two parties. That is what you call as trade. It's not just buying and selling, right? It's not just buying and selling. We are transferring the ownership of goods. And then you have mentioned auxiliary services, transportation, communication is fine. Transportation, communication, insurance, and then banking. Those are some of the auxiliary services that we have. Then we do have to compare the primary production and the secondary production. Primary production, secondary production, compare කරන්න. Okay. Now what I have seen in your case is, right? What I have seen in your case is, you have taken primary production and secondary production in two different cases. Try to go with a table, right? Try to go with a table in the exam, right? Table එකක් ගහන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. Table එකක් ගහලා table එකේම ඔක differentiate කරන්න, right? When they have asked to compare, compare it on a table. What you have done is not wrong, right? What you have done is not wrong, but table එකේ ගාන නම් ඒක ගොඩාක් හොඳයි, right? It's better if you can go for a table. So primary production obtains natural resources or extract natural resources directly from the nature. Yes, that is correct. Examples they have given: agriculture, fishing, and mining. Excellent. Secondary production converts raw materials into finished goods. Yes, excellent. Manufacturing, construction, and processing. Good. So those are good answers, right? Those are good answers, right? Okay. අන්න ඒක කරලා. Lucky. Is that all you could do? එච්චරද කරේ? තව කරේ නැද්ද? Okay. Okay, fine. So then we'll then discuss the rest of the questions as well, right? We'll then discuss the rest of the questions then. Okay. So when it comes to middlemen, when it comes to distribution, what are two middlemen that you can have is retailers and wholesalers, right? Retailer and the wholesalers are the middlemen you can have when it comes to distribution. Apart from retailer, wholesaler, you can have agent, right? You can have agent, you can have broker, right? You can have broker, right? ඔන්න ඔයගේ කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා අන්න ඔය කට්ටිය දාන්න පුළුවන්, right? So retail and wholesale is completely fine, right? Retail and wholesale is completely fine. Broker නම් ඕනෙත් නැහැ, right? Broker is a sub part of agent, so retailer, wholesaler, agent. ඔන්න ඔය තුන තියාගන්නකො, right? Those are some middlemen that you have in distribution. Name the internal environment of the business. We have owner, manager, employees, resource, structure, and culture. So those are the internal environmental factors that you can see: owner, manager, employee, resource, structure, and culture. Those are the internal environment things that you can see. Then basically what you have to do, you have to explain how two of these, right? How two of these internal environmental factors are going to influence, right? So if you take resources, how organizational resources are going to influence. There you can write having quality raw materials, having quality equipments, having quality tools, having a quality machinery, capital, that is going to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization, right? Having quality raw materials, resources will improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of the organization. having called raw materials materials resources will improve, right? Will improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. That is one method, right? That is one method. And then tawali pulang apita. Key is not working. Okay. Tawali pulang. So for owners, right? For owners, you can write the owners if they are able to invest more capital to the business, right? Whenever necessary, if the owners are able to invest capital to the business, then that becomes a good thing. Uh, Ramana, having a skilled, having a skilled managerial board, having a skilled director board, that becomes a strength to the business. You are able to make quality decisions. You can make strategic decisions. That is good. Having a skilled set of employees that will give you what do you call the competitive advantage, right? Having a skilled set of employees will give you a competitive advantage over the others. අන්න ඒ වගේ ඔයාලට මෙන්න මේක describe කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? And select any point, right? Select any set of points අර environmental factors වලින් දෙකක් තෝරගෙන explain කරන්න තමයි. By the way, we did discuss the Woodmaster on the last day. So I'll skip the Woodmaster thing. 27 तक मैं skip करना. So 27 is also the same question has repeated. We'll go to 27B. Two macro environmental forces and how they influence the failure of the business. How does macro environment influence failure? දැන් පුතා මෙහෙම macro environment කිව්වම you can take economic environment නේ. දැන් China don't take just economic environment. Take some sub factors in them. එතකොට lazy answer කරන්න, right? If you take some sub factors, it is easier for you to answer. Now in economic environment, inflation වන්නකො. Inflation is an external macro environmental factor. So you can explain about how inflation is influencing the failure of the business. You can write there. If the inflation, right, if the inflation of the economy is rising, it will lead to the downfall of the business due to expensive prices and cost. Improvement in automation and technology in a rapid manner will become a threat if they are adopted by the competitors. If the competitors are adapting rapid change in technology quicker than us, අපිට වඩා ඉක්මනට right අපිට වඩා ඉක්මනට අපේ competitors ලා නාද මේ automation and technology adapt කරනවා නම් අන්න that becomes a threat to us. If they are adapting technology quicker than us, it becomes a threat to us. අන්න ඔය වගේ ලියන්න පුළුවන්. So you can write more, you can write more. You can write changes in the environment. Now these days the El Nino, right? The El Nino situation is getting worse now, right? Due to the El Nino situation, now the agricultural products, there are no vegetables, right? There are no harvest and all, right? There's a drought situation at the moment. So those become what? threats, right? Those become kind of threats. Okay, so you can write about them. When a business take loans, uh, how does it affect businessman and the bank? And it defaults a loan, not to take loans. When a business defaults loan, default කියලා කියන්නේ පුතා මේ what if what if you China takes a loan and what if you don't pay? වා පොල්ල තියෙනවා. වා ලෝන් එකක් අරගෙන වා පොල්ල තියෙනවා. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ලෝන් එකක් අරගෙන වා පොල්ල තියෙනවා. Okay. Then what happens to you and to the bank? What I bank and I mukad. So now you have to write separately. What happens to the business, right? What happens to the business? What happens to the bank? I have to write. What happens to the bank? What happens to the business? Now, very simple. For the bank, if the businessman defaults a loan, it becomes a loss, right? It becomes a loss. We can take another point, right? It becomes a loss. Another one is NPL, right? It increases the non-performing loan rates. It increases the non-performing loan rates in banks. NPL rate take වැඩි වෙනවා, right? The NPL rates will increase. NPL means non-performing loans. Okay. When the non-performing loans increases, that becomes a bad thing to the bank. Bank එකට ඒක හොඳ නැහැ, right? If there is non-performing loans, that is not a good thing. It's a bad thing for the bank. So those things will happen to the banking side. For the business, what happens? The credibility of the business will be lost. Credibility of the business will be lost. And then terminal, you will lose the collateral, right? You will lose the collateral. Loses the collateral assets. You kept something for the collateral, right? When you don't pay the loan, the business is, so the bank is going to take that collateral to their hand, right? එයාලේ collateral එක තියාගන්න. Now you will lose the collateral as well. So that becomes a what? Negative thing, right? That becomes a negative thing for you. So those are the impacts of defaulting a loan. You can write about them. මේවට ලියලා නැහැනේ. මේව ලියා ගන්න, right? Write down these answers when I am putting them on the screen. Screen එකේ දාගන්න. Okay. Explain the strengths and weakness in the organizational culture, giving an examples for each, right? Explain the strengths and weakness of the organizational culture and give an example for each. Then make අපි කලිනුත් බැලුවා, right? We even discussed earlier, but we didn't write this type of a question. We have to explain a strength and a weakness in the organization culture. Like, for example, let's say if we have a culture, right? If we have an organizational culture which addresses all the needs of the internal parties. Now, in certain organizations, the way you dress, the way you look is also tailored by the organization culture. Again, some organizations, you can't have your beard, you can't have tattoos, you can't wear certain clothes. In have a culture team. Then mama කියව දැන් මට කියලා right. If I'm working somewhere and if I want to have a beard and the organization is telling me no you can't have beard, there's a misfit. There's a misfit. මම කැමති රැවුලවන්න හැබැයි organization එකේ කියනවා රැවුලවන්න එපා කියලා. Now can I work there? No. I don't feel working. මට රැවුල කපන්න කියනවා නම් බෑ. මට කොණ්ඩේ වවන්න මම කොණ්ඩේ වවන්න ආසයි ගොඩක්. දිගට කොණ්ඩේ වවන්න ආසයි. But the organization says no, I have to trim my hair. I have to trim my hair කියලා organization එකකින් කියනවා. And then see, there is now a misfit between the culture and the employees. If you have an organization culture which does misfit employees, that becomes a what? Weakness, right? It becomes a weakness. I am what, right? Let's say I am one of the best performing employees in the organization. I am one of the best performing employees in the organization. හැබැයි මට වැඩ කරන්න බෑ මට කියනවා කොණ්ඩේ කපන්න කියලා. හැමතිස්සෙම මට කියනවා කොණ්ඩේ කපන්න කියලා. So now I don't like to work there. So I leave that place. The organization is now losing an employee, a best performing employee, because of their practice, because of their culture, because of the culture that they have, because they have a culture of having trimmed hair. See, and that it becomes a, right now it becomes a weakness. So we'll write it here. Explain the strengths and weakness in the organizational culture, giving an example for each. Strengths or the having a culture which having a feel like which addresses the having a respectful culture which addresses the equality of all employees. හැමෝටම සමාන තැනක් දීලා, right? Like everyone is given equal priority and everyone is treated equal. That kind of a place is good. Right? That kind of place is good. Fine. But we'll take another one, right? Weakness gampo. Weakness gatto. Having poor culture which harms the values, beliefs of the employees becomes great. Then if we have a culture which harms the values, beliefs of the employees. Now, religious factors, maybe it could be a religious factor. Now, even you can see that there's a case going on these days related to nurse wearing a scarf, right? Yeah, a female nurse letter scarf එක අඳින්න බැරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවානේ, right? So that particular hospital, they have a culture of the culture and the rule is like they are not allowed to wear headscarves, right? So that is the culture and the rule. But now that is going to become a disadvantage for the employees because the Muslim female employees, they are unable to work there. So එතන misfit එකක් තියෙනවා. එතන when there's a misfit, that becomes a weakness to the employees because the other cultures are not given a equality or something. ඒ වගේ එකක් තියෙනවා. Okay. So you can write these kinds of things there. New generation is reluctant to get involved into agriculture. We have discussed this question enough, right? We have discussed this question enough. So okay. China, can you try the 30th question? Can you try the 30th question and give me an answer? What 30th question I would like try it alone. Name an industry for name an industry for increasing aging population, become an opportunity and a threat. Increasing aging population becomes a opportunity and a threat. Where? How? Huh? Increasing aging population. That means මිනිස්සු වයසට යන එක. Right? People getting old. Right? People getting old. දෙවා මම වයසට යන එක මේ particular business එකට වාසියක්. Right? සමහර business වලට මේක අවාසියි. Right? For some businesses, having old people is a good thing. For some businesses, having old people is a bad thing. The question is asking increasing of aging population, having more and more old people in the economy becomes an opportunity and threat for certain businesses. What are those industries and why? Can you come up with the answer? Something that we have to think of. Now, these are practical questions. syllabus Like, these are the types of questions that you are being asked these days. Practical questions. Try it. ලියන්න ඕනේ ඒකේ answers මට නිකන් chat box එකේ දාන්නකෝ right. Put me in the chat box some points that you can tell. These industries are having an opportunity, these industries are having a threat. Just give me some points. Good night, man. I got a message. Right. Okay. Now see, China, when we are getting old, right? When the economy, in the economy, now these days, the people are getting old. വയസ്സൊക്കെ മീൻസ് then എണ്ണ വാല്യൂ ചെയ്യണം. That is a fact, right? Even right now at the moment, there are very few youngsters, teenagers, kids who are studying. Right? In the future, the old people, right? The old people are now increased. When old people increase, there are certain businesses, certain industries get impacted. For some, this is an opportunity. For some, this is a threat. Now, for example, take hospitals. For hospitals and for the medical industry, this becomes an opportunity. Hospital businesses will make vast. I Vadipura then another in a wiser country. Old people they get sick and all, right? Old people they get sick and all, so they have to medical hospitals have to treat them. They have to they can earn money. Wiser means very treatments very well. They can earn more money. Okay, so that becomes a opportunity, right? That becomes an opportunity for hospital sector. But on the other hand, see the insurance sector. For the insurance, right? For the insurance, when more and more people get sick, when more and more old people are there, they have to pay more and more claims. Claims would have given, right? May hospitalized when Sarita, may claims given, then that becomes a threat for insurance industries. Take adult diapers sell करने का team है. Businesses where they sell adult diapers. For them, when the aging population is increasing, it becomes an opportunity. വയസ്സൊക്കെ പിടിച്ച് വെടി വേണ്ട adult diapers വെടി വേണം. Adult diapers sell ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ വെടി വേണം. So see, that is the opportunity and the threat that you can see when the aging population in the country is increasing. But on the other hand, for businesses, you don't have enough manpower, you don't have enough workforce employees to work in the organization. You don't have young employees to work in businesses. Young right? Everyone in the organization is old. You don't have youngsters. That becomes a threat. So we'll write down here. I will write down certain points here. Opportunity. For the hospitality industry, increasing in aging population will become an opportunity because when there are more adult patients, it creates more business opportunity. When there are more adult patients, and there is more opportunity for that. There is more opportunity for that. And then when it comes to threats, threats threats insurance sector will face a threat because when the adult population has to claim more. Oops. Adult women. Insurance sector will face a threat because when the adult population has to claim more. Threat. When the adult population has to claim more compensation, it becomes a threat. ඔයගේ පාට industries දෙකක් ලියලා threat එකයි opportunity එකයි industries දෙකක් ලියලා you can write an example. That's enough. Always when you are writing answers for these questions, you have to be very specific. කම්මේ general answers ලියනද අර question එකට අදාළ answers විතරක්ම ලියන්න ගන්න. Because sometimes I have students in the previous batches where they write like enormous stories, right? විකාර කතන්දර ලියන්න ඕන තැන් තියෙනවා, right? There are certain places where you have write these small stories. ඒ question එක base කරගෙන. But එහෙමයි කියලා like you don't have to write in තඩි paragraph. මේ තඩි paragraph ලියලා ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Okay. Then we'll go to this next one. Advantages and disadvantages of specialization. Now, specialization क्यों मत करें? Specialization is where you are doing a particular task, right? You, Shaina, you are doing a particular task, and when you do this again and again and again, you get specialized in this. You are now able to perform better than others. That is your specialization. Now, due to this specialization, what are the advantages and disadvantages that the organization will have? Advantage is ability to work faster and productively than others. Improves the quality of the products. Those are some advantages. Disadvantages gatto. Now you are unable to shift to another job. Now, for example, if Shaina is the machine operator, you are forever the machine operator. Hamadam Vadakaran machine operator had you. Now you can't shift to another position. Now you can't become an accountant there. Every day you will become the machine operator. You can't become an accountant. You can't become a marketeer. Why? You are used to becoming the machine operator. Right? You are used to becoming a machine operator, so you have to get stuck there. Yeah, you are stuck there. But when a question shift you are unable to shift jobs. That is one disadvantage. Inability to shift jobs when necessary. Not having skills regarding other job titles. So those are some advantages and disadvantages when it comes to specialization. On a specialization, advantage, disadvantage, the And then there is another very simple question. 4 products that could not be considered as goods and service. People, places, experience, events. Maybe need to අන්නකේ මම අර බෝල වගේ images ටිකක් දීලා ලියන්න දුන්නේ. අන්න ඒ ටික බලා ගන්න, right? So apart from goods and services, there are some other products as well. ඔතන තියෙන්නේ. So then we have to go for another set of question. Okay. Copy down this. Then we'll go to the next one, the last one. Okay, excellent. Answer 33, 34, 35. Based on this case, Automobile Company Limited assembles, sells zero emission motor vehicles in Sri Lanka through large number of employees. Employees work in the company. An employee performs only single task. In addition to the company offers after-sales services to the customers as well. Moreover, the customers began to produce spare parts in this year. The company pays a large amount of income tax to the government and contributes to the regional infrastructure development. Very basic. They are asking what are the products that they are offering, right? What are the products that they are offering? They are offering what? They are offering zero emission, right? You have right here, zero emission motor vehicles, right? The products that they are offering are goods, the product that they are offering are goods, okay? And services, they are offering goods and services. Monada goods, zero emission motor vehicles, right? They are offering zero emission motor vehicles and after sales services, right? They are offering zero emission motor vehicles and after sales service, right? They are offering services as well. Then goods and service, right? Those are the 2 products. That's how you have to write. You have to write, okay, how are they contributing to the sustaining of the economy? They pay income taxes, right? They pay income taxes. Then they are offering employment. They are offering employment. Okay. They are contributing to the regional infrastructure development. Right? They are contributing to regional infrastructure development. They are contributing here. They are producing, right? They are producing. That means they are contributing to the GDP. Contributing to the GDP. Providing employment opportunities, contributing to the GDP, paying taxes, improving regional development, right? Regional infrastructure development. Those are how the company is helping to sustain the economy. Make case again, you have to write based on this case. Based on the case, you have to write because they have already given. Okay, that's why we call it a case study question. And based on the above case, name the forces that influence the business. What are the forces that influence the business? Forces, but here you have the government, and the government is there. There is the government, that means political and legal, right? Political and legal environment is there. Zero emission, right? Zero emission is environmental, natural environment is impacting them. See? Okay, so those are some of the forces. The government is there, the employees are there, the employees are also there. Explain reasons why a business should aim for profits. Very basic. Why business should aim for profits? Because businesses, they have expenses. The expenses has to be covered, so businesses aims profits. Owners of the organization they have invested capital. They expect a return. Thereby, business has to earn a profit. There are shareholders who have invested money. They are expecting dividend. So businesses should earn for profit. There are employees who are working. We have to pay salary to them. So businesses should aim for profits. So those are some reasons why a business should aim for profits. പഠിക്കുവാണ് തീനോ ഓർഡർ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് profits ആണ് shareholders return ആണ് for those reasons you have to aim for profits. For those reasons you have to aim for profits. You have expenses to cover, right? Business expenses are there, so you have to aim for profits. In addition to the after sales service, describe two other services that can be given. This is an automobile company. Apart from the after sales service, they give, what are other services that they could provide? Apart from after sales, what are the other services that could they provide? Ekattama, now this is automobile company. Automobile company, they can give a leasing facility, right? As automobile company, they could have given a leasing facility. Leasing facilities. Leasing facility is for new car purchase. Insurance, we can give insurance facilities as well. Insurance facilities, you can give leasing facilities, insurance facilities. Those are what? Some other services that you can give apart from after sales. Maybe breakdown. If the vehicle is breakdown or something, there are emergency breakdown facilities. Those are some examples that you can write. Now these things are not taught. These things are not taught in the syllabus. Syllabus car company, right? Automobile company. Wow. As a student, as a business student, now you have to think how businesses work. What are the extra things? Right? You have to go for an extra mile, right? Extra step business studies. You have to think a little bit. That's what the examiner is also want, right? Examiner wants you to become someone who is sharp. Apart from that, business idea and him can. The employee performs a single task. Now we have discussed this question enough, so I'm not going to discuss this again. Right? I have even given an answer for this on the previous day as well. So we'll move to the next one. We'll move to the last question. I think this question was from 2024 or 23, if I'm not wrong, right? 24 or 23 वाली खरी आप question में yeah, it was from Best Leaves Hotel, which was founded by two engineers who are new to the industry. It employs 50 experienced, skilled permanent daily paid employees who provide dedicated services to its customers. However, the owners have observed that the turnover of daily paid employees is above industry average. The hotel makes sure that its customers' privacy is always protected while they are treated respectfully at all times. The hotel always ensures the accommodation of the guest. It cleans, safe and elegant, while the foods are delicious, organic and healthy to meet customer expectations. Although the government promotes tourism, through foreign embassies and other promotional campaigns, there is a resistance posed by certain pressure groups for tourism industries. So this is the case that they have given, right? Case what's happening now is you have to answer the questions based on this particular case. Very easy, very easy. Two customer needs fulfilled by best leave hotels. मैं best leave hotel लेके fulfill करना needs देगा. One need is customers privacy, right? Customers privacy protection, security is ensured. Okay, the security is ensured. The accommodation is ensured. Accommodation is ensured. The food, the need of food is ensured. ඔන්න ඔය answers මම තුනක් පෙන්නුවා. ඔය තුනෙන් ඔයාලට කැමති දෙකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Two needs that is fulfilled by best leads. Customers privacy, accommodation, food. Mention two wants the customers are focusing. What are the wants? Clean and safe, right? Clean and safe rooms, right? Clean and safe rooms. Delicious and organic food. Delicious and organic food. Those are different wants. The need is food, the need is shelter, but the want is clean, safe rooms, delicious and organic, healthy food. And right? So those are the answers. In the case itself, right? In the case itself, we can identify them. Case again, answers ටික තියෙනවා. I අමුතේ වෙන වෙන හොය ඉන්න ඕනේ. Need කිව්වම you are looking for what you call shelter, you are looking for food. That is your need. What are the wants? Delicious and organic food, clean and safe environment to live, right? Accommodations, those are the wants. Very easy. ඔය දෙක ලිව්වම නිකම්ම ලකුණු හතරක් තියෙනවානේ, right? You write those, simply you have 4 marks. These are all very easy. අමාරු නෑ. State two ways how the business best leaves can contribute to the development of the economy. Very easy, ne? One, employing 50 experienced employees. Employees are done. Okay. Tamanad. You are developing tourism. Tourism is developed. When tourism is developed, when employees are given jobs and all, the economy is developing. There is a contribution for the development of the economy. From the case itself, you can identify. Right? හරියට ලියන්න එක, right? හරියට sentence එක ලියන්න. එතකොට නිකම්ම ලකුණු තියෙනවා. Providing job opportunities to 50 employees. That is one. Providing job opportunities to 50 employees. That is one way we can contribute to the development of economy. Then promotion of tourism, right? Promotion of tourism is another way. Promotion of tourism to attract foreign customers, foreign tourists. That's another way how you can contribute for the development of the GDP. How do they attract customers? They attracting customers through what? By ensuring customers' privacy. They are ensuring customers' privacy. That is one attraction point. Then they are attracting customers through delicious, organic and healthy foods. They are having delicious, organic and healthy food to attract customers. So those are some other points. Stakeholders are the owner, the employees, government, tourist, right? Those are 4 stakeholders. They're gonna lazy. Identify an opportunity and threat. Opportunity promotes tourism through foreign embassies. That's an opportunity. but there are pressure groups for the tourism industry. That's a resistance from pressure groups. That is a threat. Here, this point is a what advantage or a opportunity. But me metana diyene resistance is a threat. Resistance is a threat. And easily you can find the answers from the case itself. මෙයාගේ question එකක් දුන්නොත් ශායනා අට සුපිරියට කොට දාගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? You can easily score marks in these questions. Mention two weaknesses of the best leaves hotel. Best leaves hotel එකේ weakness එකක් කියන්නේ. මම පෙන්නන weakness එකක්. You see, the weakness is they are paying to their employees, right? Above their industry average, right? Sorry, not paying. The turnover of the daily paid employees is above their industry average. That means employees are leaving. Here turnover means employees are leaving the organization. Asvela yana, right? Company again, right? May best leaves hotel again. Employees la asvela yana. If the employees are leaving from the company above average, then that is a bad thing. That is a bad thing to happen in an organization. So it becomes a weakness, right? That it becomes a weakness. Another one is the owners are two engineers who are new to the industry. Two engineers who are new to the industry. මෙයාලා industry එකට අලුත්, right? මෙයාලා industry එකට අලුත්. එතකොට ඒකත් ප්‍රශ්නයක්, right? They are new to the industry, so that is not a good thing. They don't have experience. So that's another disadvantage. So we have to mention those, right? We have to mention those two and describe in a couple of sentences, right? We have to mention those two and describe one, right? Describe one of them in a couple of sentences. That's enough. What happens if they are new to the industry? What happens if the employees are leaving the organization? ඒක ඔයා හිතලා ලියන්න ඕන. අමාරුද ඔක? නෑ. Very easy. If you score this properly, method number 20 marks තියෙනවා, right? This is a 20 marks question. Question number 36 is a 20 marks one. Easily match එකක් ගහන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Okay. Now I guess now you have understood how questions arrive from the unit 1, right? Unit 1 again කොයි වගේ questions දෙන්නේ, how questions arrive, how MCQs, how fill in the blanks, how writing questions arrive. Now you might have a good understanding. Okay? දැන් හොඳට තේරෙන්නේ නැති මෙහෙම තමයි පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you is this a paper, right? I'll bring this paper and I'm coming to the class in the evening, right? Evening එනකොට අරන් එන්නම්. Evening එක තව චුට්ටක් ඉන්නේ, right? පැයකින් දෙකකින් ඉනවනේ. අද මම paper එක අරන් එන්නම්. Where is this? There is model paper. Yeah, we have the model paper here. Ready now? Two main questions, and then there is MCQs. Right? Two main questions, and then there is MCQs. So, I'll bring them. Try the model papers. Karla balanna aata කොහොමද කියලා. Okay. It's very easy. It's a very easy paper. Try to score marks. Okay. So, Shaina, any questions, ma? Is everything okay? You want any answers? Did you miss any answers? Everything fine? All clear. Okay, ma. So then with that, we will wind up for the day. So on next week onwards, we are continuing on physical classes, right? Okay. Then with that, we'll be winding up for the day. Thank you and God bless you. See you in the evening.